So today we are going to listen directly to Lieutenant Brookshire's narrative in his internal affairs interview way back when from September 17, 2025. And I want to try to point out some pretty severe, fatal, legal, and factual flaws that are in it. So this recording involves Lieutenant Barone from the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office of Professional Standards. We all know him, interviewing Lieutenant John Brookshire regarding the internal case from when filed complaints. Let's break down what was said, what the law actually requires, and where this official narrative completely falls apart.
This is Lieutenant Barone, Cherokee Sheriff's Office, Office of Professional Standards. I am in the Office of Professional Standards with Lieutenant John Brookshire. This is concerning IA case number 2025-00034, and that is also concerning incident case number SO 25-012319. All right. Lieutenant Brookshire, first thing we're going to do is get you a copy of the AIC accusation. Sir, that is your copy. On the very last page is a copy of employees' duties and rights. What I'm first going to do is read the memorandums to you, and then once you let me know that you are completed reading that AIC accusation, I can get you to sign my AIC. Today is the 17th of September, 2025. The time is 1:05 p.m. Okay, sir. If you would, that is your copy.
Yep.
If you would, I need you to sign right here at the employee's signature stating that you received a copy of the AIC, and today is the 17th of September, 2025. Lieutenant Brookshire, this is to inform you that an internal affairs investigation has been started in regards to a situation which was reported on September 5th, 2025. A copy of the allegation has been supplied to you for your information. I also have supplied you with a copy of employees' duties and rights during an internal investigation. You are hereby ordered not to discuss this case with any person other than the Internal Affairs Office, Chief Deputy Sheriff, or Legal Counsel. Any efforts on the contrary will be considered obstruction of this investigation and a violation of a direct order. If you understand, please sign and date. Thank you very much, sir. The next one is the internal investigation warning. It's commonly referred to as Garrity. I wish to advise you that you're being questioned as part of an official investigation of the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. You'll be asked questions specifically directed and narrowly related to the performance of your official duties or fitness for office. You are entitled to all rights and privileges guaranteed by the laws and Constitution of the state and the Constitution of the United States, including the right not to be compelled to incriminate yourself. I further wish to advise you that if you refuse to testify or to answer questions relating to the performance of your official duties or fitness for duty, you'll be subject to departmental charges, which could result in your dismissal from the Sheriff's Office. If you do answer questions, neither your statements nor any information or evidence that is gained by reason of such statements can be used against you in any subsequent criminal proceeding. However, these statements may be used against you in relation to subsequent departmental charges. In addition to the above rights, you have the right to have counsel present during this question. If you understand, please sign and date.
Warrant. Show me a warrant. Show me a warrant. No, you won't. I'll call the police on you. I have dogs in my house. No. Do you have a warrant? Do you have a warrant? This is being videotaped. I hope you know that. Do you have a warrant? I'm going to call the police. And I don't care. I'm going to call the cops. No. What's your name and your badge number? I have kids. I'm not obstructing you. I have small kids and dogs. Do you have a warrant?
What's your badge number?
Do you have a warrant? Do you have a warrant?
What's your badge number?
We're out of this house right now.
Yes, ma'am. 921 Little River. For what?
Obstruction.
I'm not doing. I'm on the phone with 911.
You're hindering
Let me.
my
You're
investigation.
scaring my son.
Again, everyone is.
Thank you, Lieutenant. If you would, tell me how did you get involved in this case?
So, obviously, I was working the night that Corporal Mills attempted to stop the motorcycle.
Okay, and that was August 29th, a Friday,
It was a
August
Friday
29th.
night. It was, I want to say, later in the evening. It was dark. And I heard Corporal Mills obviously didn't pursue it. There were some discussion amongst the other deputies in determining which direction of travel it had taken. Later that night, I know that Corporal Mills was able to find some video footage utilizing our Fusus system of that motorcycle turning in onto Vice Lake Parkway.
Okay.
We patrolled that area. There's numerous homes back there, as well as the Quincy apartments. We went back there looking to see if we could see the motorcycle. We didn't locate it that night. Saturday we came in, and Corporal Mills had been able to utilize the flock system to obtain an image, a daytime image of what he believed to be the same motorcycle that had fled from him on the prior night. And he told me that he was going to go down to the Quincy apartments and just kind of walk around and talk to people that might be out and about and see if they recognize this particular individual. He went down there. Later on, he contacted me by telephone to tell me that he had located, I believe it was a father and daughter that were out walking a dog. He had shown them the picture. They recognized the individual, even pointed him to the apartment complex. From there, he was able to talk with the girlfriend's name, and I apologize, I don't remember.
Taylor Zoller.
Taylor, yes. He was able to talk with Taylor. And determined that Taylor had taken Mr. Helms to his place of employment at Papa John's that day, and had further explained that he normally rides his motorcycle, but he didn't want to that day because he didn't have a tag on the motorcycle, and there's a lot of law enforcement in the area. So
That's what the gentleman told Mills.
that was my understanding. That was what Taylor had told
I'm
Mills.
sorry, Taylor. Okay.
And so Mills told me he was going to go interview Mr. Helms at his place of employment. And so I figured he's following up on his investigation. He went and talked with Mr. Helms, called me back later, said that he didn't get as much information from Mr. Helms as he had hoped, and he's going to go back to the apartment complex and talk with Taylor. Later on, he called me again, said Taylor wasn't there, and I really don't recall exactly how he knew that Mr. Helms's mother lived off Little River Lane. I think there was some prior interaction, but he was familiar that he had family in the area, and he was going to go over there and see if he could talk with them. So he called me back when he arrived at the residence. He had knocked on the door. He could see the television was on, and there were cell phones like on the couch or the table, but nobody would come to the door. A little while later, he explained that he had seen Miss Lopez arrive at the house with Mr. Helms, and he was getting an arrest warrant for Mr. Helms. I was eating dinner at the time, and so when I finished eating dinner, I heard he was still at the house, and I said, well, I'll start that direction to see what's going on over there. As I was en route, I heard Corporal Hart call for his sergeant to respond to the scene, and I told Corporal Hart that I was already en route to the scene to see what was going on. When I got there, Corporal Mills told me that he had already placed Mr. Helms into custody, had an arrest warrant for him, and that he had placed Miss Lopez under arrest for obstruction because he was attempting to do a protective sweep of the residence, and she had blocked his entry into the house. He had intended to get a search warrant for the house for Mr. Helms's cell phone, which he believed to be inside.
Constructing a protective sweep to bypass the Fourth Amendment. So listen to what Lieutenant Brookshire claims Corporal Mills told him. Mills placed a citizen under arrest for obstruction because she blocked his entry when he attempted to conduct a protective sweep of the private residence to secure a phone before obtaining a search warrant. Under established Fourth Amendment precedent, Maryland versus Buie, a protective sweep is a quick, limited search of a premises conducted strictly to ensure officer safety when officers reasonably believe that the area harbors an individual posing a danger. It is not a legal tool used to enter a home without a warrant to prevent the alleged destruction of evidence like a cell phone. Officers cannot create an emergency or enter a home without a warrant under the guise of a protective sweep, just because they think that evidence might be inside. An unlawful entry or order cannot form the basis of a lawful obstruction charge.
Know if Corporal Mills told Natasha what he intended on doing?
Yes, he did tell me up front. He briefed me and he gave me a very thorough description of what he had done prior. And I remember that because after the incident had calmed down later that night, I did review his body cam as a result of Miss Lopez's complaint to me. So I wanted to see if what he had told me compared with what had actually occurred, and his account was almost identical to what he relayed to me.
Okay.
So I had arrived just after Miss Lopez had been placed in the rear of the patrol car, and we were, at that time, he was trying to get a search warrant for the residence. It took him about 15 or 20 minutes to get the search warrant signed by the judge, most of that time being that he was typing up the search warrant there at the scene. After that, Sergeant Lupo retrieved a physical copy to bring to the residence for us, so we had to wait a little bit longer for that. And after the search warrant arrived, we made entry into the residence and started searching the house for the cell phone. During that time, Corporal Mills had obtained a cell phone number from Mr. Helms.
Do you know how he obtained that phone number?
My understanding is that phone number was given to him by Mr. Helms during his earlier interview at Papa John's. And so upon being arrested, Mr. Helms had indicated to Corporal Mills that he did not have a cell phone. Corporal Mills found that very odd because he had previously given him a cell phone number.
You're really going to make me have to go through all this work?
I'm telling you, that's not
Because the next time I'm doing it, I'm writing search warrants, I'm going to your house and I'm going to raid the place. I'm going to find your book bag, I'm going to find your helmet. You really want to make me go through all of that? When you could just cut to the chase and we could settle this a lot easier and quicker? And you'd probably get in a whole lot less trouble?
Like I said, I did not ride bike while you were there.
I just showed you a picture of you riding in here yesterday.
That's not me.
Just, come on. But again, I'm giving you this one opportunity to come clean about running from us last
night. I get how you're trying to do your job, but that's not me.
Okay. Alright, well I'm going to go to your house with some search warrants and I'm going to go find what I'm looking for. And I'm going to take an arrest warrant for you and you're going to go to prison.
Is it on?
Yeah. Yeah. What you did last night's felony before you do it. And you have to go to jail, you have to go to prison for a year for that. So again, I'm trying to give you an out to where you don't have to go to prison for a whole year of your life.
I get how you're trying to do your job.
But if you're going to make me go through all this legwork, writing search warrants, finding evidence and stuff, you know,
I get how you're trying to do your job.
So you don't want to complain about running from me last night?
It's not riding my bike last night. As I said, my girlfriend drives me to work.
So the pictures I just showed you of you riding your bike with those same exact shoes on, isn't you?
Not
Literally the same exact shoes.
white shoes or white shoes.
They're Nike, just like the guy in the picture on your bike.
Is Nike not the top brand?
Alright, cool, man. I mean, that even looks like you. Like, straight up. I'll be in touch with him. What's a number for you, phone number? So I can call you when I have your warrant signed?
704-989-6098.
I'll be in touch with him. Sure. One last chance so you don't go to prison for a year?
You can have a good day.
What?
You can have a good day.
Cool. We'll be in touch. Thanks.
So he thought there was a good likelihood we would find it inside the residence.
Did you see anything on, did Corporal Mills tell you he saw anything written on Helms's arms or
Yes,
wrists or anything?
he did tell me when, when Miss Lopez and Mr. Helms arrived at the residence, they walked inside, and when Corporal Mills went to talk with Miss Lopez and tell her that he had an arrest warrant for Mr. Helms, she went inside, and a short time later, Mr. Helms came outside, and he had what appeared to be phone numbers written on his forearms that he had not had earlier when Corporal Mills was talking to him at his place of employment. So he also found that very odd. So obviously after that, Corporal Mills was wanting to secure the residence, make sure that, nobody's inside wiping the cell phone, because in our experience, cell phones contain a lot of very valuable data that we've done in numerous traffic investigations. That data is very fragile, and factory resetting the phone can wipe it instantly.
And then we have fatal flaw number 2, the timeline of the arrest and the commands given. So according to Brookshire's own narrative that we just listened to, the target of the original warrant was already in custody outside the residence before officers demanded entry into the home. Despite the suspect already being detained outside, officers insisted on sweeping the home without a search warrant in hand. When a citizen stands on their constitutional rights and refuses warrantless entry into their private residence, officers cannot manufacture an obstruction crime out of a citizen invoking their Fourth Amendment.
So in this case, he had explained that, I think the cell phone's in there. I don't want the data to get destroyed. I wanted to do a protective sweep, pull everybody out, and then go get a search warrant and then get the phone.
Okay.
So when the search warrant arrived, we went in, started searching for the phone, and Corporal Mills started calling the number that Mr. Helms had given him. And when we first started the search, it would ring 4 or 5 times before going to voicemail. And the longer we were in the house, Corporal Mills would continue to call the phone. Well, after the 5th or 6th attempt, it would go straight to voicemail, like somebody had powered the phone down. My understanding is that Corporal Mills walked outside, talked with the occupants that had been in the residence prior, and asked if anybody was holding the cell phone. They all denied it. I believe he asked a few more times. We continued our search inside the house for the cell phone during that time. And we had been in the house.
Let me ask you this, Lieutenant. When you're conducting that search with the other officers, where are you looking?
Inside the house.
Anywhere a cell phone could be hidden?
We're looking in drawers. We're looking in bags. We're looking in containers, cupboards, pots. Anywhere that a cell phone would be contained or could possibly be contained.
And you have the legal right to do that because you have a search warrant looking for that particular item.
Correct.
Fatal flaw number 3, the scope of the search and the actual location of the evidence. Lieutenant Brookshire details how officers spent significant time tossing my drawers and cupboards and pots inside the residence looking for a phone under a search warrant. Pretty sure they went through my purse probably 10 times. Yet, as Brookshire himself admits on the record, the phone was not even inside the house. It was located outside in the possession of another individual. Furthermore, look at how the cooperation of third parties was obtained after arrests and threats of obstruction charges were issued. Conducting searches under the threat of impending warrants or detention undermines the legal standard of voluntary consent. Watch this.
And so a little while later, Corporal Mills advised us over the radio that he had located the cell phone in the possession of someone outside. It turned out that Taylor was in possession of the cell phone.
Yes, sir.
And so at that time, Corporal Mills decided that he was going to place Taylor under arrest for obstruction as well. As he was walking Taylor out to the car, Taylor started talking with Corporal Mills. I was not in relative earshot to hear what they were discussing. I do know that as they arrived at Taylor's car, Corporal Mills read her Miranda rights, and Taylor agreed to talk with him. I believe she agreed to allow him to search the car.
We were going to find it eventually. We were going to search.
Well, can I call my father?
I tried calling him earlier. You wouldn't answer me.
My father?
Yeah. You wondered about your car.
My father's been answering me. Can I please call my dad?
He'll give you a phone number. What kind of phone
I'll
is
be able
that?
to call him since he's waiting for me to leave.
Alright, cool. My next step after I drop you guys off at jail, just for a full, hang on a second, I'm gonna
I'm handing him my rings.
No, what kind of phone is?
Yeah, I'll take all your stuff.
My guys? Yeah.
iPhone. Yeah. So, iPhone and a black sleeve. So,
iPhone black
again, full transparency.
Yeah.
After I drop you guys off at jail, my next step is to write a search warrant for y'all's apartment to go look for items there. Y'all are probably gonna be in jail when I'm doing that. So and to prevent me from having to kick your door in and cause damage out there.
Yeah.
Can you give me a key? Do you have a key with you? Okay, we'll go try to grab that then. Where's your
It's gonna be okay.
keys to your car at?
You're gonna get down.
At which time she said that she needed her keys to allow him to get inside the car. The question was posed about where her keys were. She said her keys were on the kitchen table inside the residence. I returned inside the residence to retrieve the keys for her car, which I brought out to her.
Per her request.
Per her request.
Kitchen table?
Yeah, I can go back in. You can follow
Just
me.
tell us where it's at, kitchen table?
It should be
Kitchen table.
I left everything. I thought I left it unlocked. I never locked the stupid car.
Because she was cooperating with Corporal Mills at that time. Provided her keys to him. Taylor also agreed that she would take us to the apartment. She would allow us to search the apartment for the motorcycle helmet and the backpack that Corporal Mills believed that Mr. Helms was wearing on the night prior. So
this was a consensual search, even though she was in custody.
Correct. We had read her Miranda and explained that we had intended, I believe Corporal Mills explained that he had intended to get a search warrant for that residence.
Her apartment.
Her apartment, correct.
Okay.
And
she decided to cooperate.
She wanted to cooperate.
Let me ask you this. If at any time that you and Corporal Mills were inside her apartment, if at any time she said, you know what, I don't want to cooperate anymore, what would you two have done?
Search is done. We'll get a search warrant. But the fact of it is we escorted her to the apartment. When we got there, Corporal Mills unhandcuffed her, and she took us to the apartment. She unlocked the door with her key, let us inside the apartment, which obviously she didn't have to do, but she was cooperating with us. She took us inside the apartment, took us to her bedroom closet, showed us a motorcycle helmet that was hers. Inside, we looked for for where a motorcycle and a backpack would be. It was a relatively
So that's going to
small
limit
apartment.
your search.
It was
not?
very, very limited. We were in the apartment probably less than 10 minutes, and most of that was we were standing in the closet having a discussion with Taylor about the backpack and the helmet. We weren't actually searching. After that, Taylor said she would show us where the motorcycle was parked in the parking lot. She took us to the motorcycle, which was covered by a cover. Corporal Mills then obtained a search warrant to uncover the motorcycle so that we could photograph it, obtain the VIN, things like that. Verify that it was the same motorcycle that had ran from him on the prior night.
Okay.
After we did that, we covered it back up. And because Taylor had been cooperative in the investigation, Corporal Mills elected to release her on an arrest citation as opposed to transporting her to the jail to make her post bond.
Okay.
Did you want to lock your door? Did you want to lock that? Or is it open?
I mean, you're bringing me back here, right?
We might have to go back to your car first, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
You'll need your car key. You'll need your car key.
I have to leave a lot of things behind, so.
Now, I do want to back up. While we were at the residence, Natasha did want to speak to the person in charge. She did request that. So I did tell her that I was that individual. She told me that Corporal Mills had illegally entered into her residence without a search warrant. She urged me to look at her ring footage. And I explained to her that, obviously we wear body cams and we would be able to review that footage going forward, which is in part why I did review it after the incident had completed for the night.
Okay. Did you find any wrongdoing on Corporal Mills?
Absolutely not. Everything that Corporal Mills did first was, in my opinion, professional. He explained what he was attempting to do, explained why he was wanting to do it, and based upon my knowledge of current law and case law, everything that he did was permissible, including the protective sweep.
Okay. Did you find any misconduct on Corporal Hart's part?
No.
Ultimately, do you remember what he arrested Helms for?
Felony fleeing and eluding and reckless driving, I believe.
Okay.
Is what the charges were.
Okay. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you think would be beneficial to my investigation?
I would think the only thing that might be beneficial is that, as far as the knowledge of case law with regard to a warrantless entry of a residence, I have a unique perspective on that in that I had a very similar situation that occurred approximately 12 years ago in which I had to make a warrantless entry into a residence to conduct a protective sweep to prevent evidence from being destroyed. There was a subsequent lawsuit that occurred from that incident, and I was had a very unique understanding and advanced knowledge of the case law regarding protective sweeps. So in this case, when I was reviewing Corporal Mills' video, that is one of the things that I was keeping in mind, is that there is additional case law out there besides just the Fourth Amendment that obviously says that you need a search warrant. So
right.
I was familiar with those protective sweeps, which aren't just to protect officer safety issues, but they can be useful in protecting evidence, which in this case I knew to be very fragile and easily destroyed.
On February 20th, 2015, the Solicitor General of Cherokee County, Jessica K. Moss, issued an election not to prosecute Bradley with gambling and keeping a place of gambling for the below stated reasons. The evidence that formed the basis for the arrest was discovered after a search warrant was signed and executed, allowing entrance into the defendant's home, located at 3279 Kate Street, Ackworth 30102. It appears, based on the information contained in the warrant, that there was no probable cause to search the home. Moreover, a crucial piece of evidence that formed the basis for the search warrant request was the discovery of a glass pipe of a type commonly used to smoke marijuana on the back of patio of the residence. It appears that the back patio of the residence was within the curtilage of the defendant's home, an area protected under the Fourth Amendment of the United States and Georgia Constitution.
Very good. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. The time now is 1:22, and this will conclude the interview.
When you review internal affairs recordings line by line, the gaps between law enforcement narrative and constitutional law, they become undeniable. 1, a protective sweep cannot be weaponized to conduct a warrantless search for physical evidence inside a private residence. Number 2, citizens have a constitutional right to decline warrantless entry into their home. And number 3, internal narratives often attempt to retroactively justify illegal entries by labeling constitutional resistance as obstruction. Accountability requires that we examine these exact words spoken by public officials and hold them to the standard of the law. Stay tuned as we continue to review more of the official records and expose the truth, because I'm just here to give it to you and allow you to see it for what it is and form your own opinion.